What's up, everybody? This is Zack, aka Zaki, creator of Gel-like Video and many more podcasts on the website Zack.coffee. That's ZACK.COFFE. Um, this is Coffee with Zack in English, so we're going to go ahead and drink some coffee. Have some coffee right here. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the show. There's a couple updates for today. This is for Monday, August 18th. Sorry for the delay on the video. I had to take care of a couple other things, but anyway, we really need some of the highway constructions to be over sooner rather than later, because obviously some of those constructions make the flow of traffic jams and all that just very complex, and it makes things very difficult for both CHP, the Sacramento Police Department, and all the surrounding counties, and for Cal Fire, and Caltrans, who does all of the uh, all of the work that they do throughout the Sacramento County and just elsewhere as well. There's the whole Citrus Heights, Roseville, Rockland, Folsom, just the whole goddamn map. It's just with all these constructions, just make driving very difficult, especially when you're trying to get between here and Folsom or Roseville, for example. There's so much construction on the road, it ruins everything, especially when you get as well downtown Sacramento. So please find a way to get these construction done faster, because you need to understand that a lot of us, while we drive, we're experienced drivers. We've been driving. I'm 42 right now, so I've been driving since I was 16. I've been driving for like more than 20 years. So I'm agile. I'm driving. I can eat a sandwich. I can listen to music. But a lot of these new drivers that are 16, 17, and 18, they have no concept of reaction time. And that's because these kids, unfortunately, especially females, they don't use video games. They don't use Gran Turismo 7. And you need to play Gran Turismo 7, and you need to win those licenses, because when you're out on the road, it's not just like the written test. It's, you have to have a reaction time. And that means ban this goddamn TikTok. I don't want TikTok. I hate TikTok. And that's why I worked with CHP and all those guys, and I told them, do your best to get this TikTok app banned from used on the road, because that's what a lot of these kids were doing. They were basically driving, or they were driving with their friends, and then their friends were using TikTok while they were driving, and they didn't pay attention to the road, and they would get into accidents because of TikTok. Back in the days, it was Snapchat. They were getting into accidents using Snapchat. Now it's with TikTok. It's really problematic. All right, a couple of updates. I was able to get the new Full Metal Panic Short Stories 3. Very excited. Very excited for that. Now, as you know, we have the 4 Full Metal Panic collections editions, collection 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And I've read all those. They're great. I'll have to go back and read them again. Some of the stories are amazing, especially what happened in Afghanistan. It was so sad and crazy, and how upset he was. How Sayala Sosuke was when he returned home, and he just wanted to be with Kaname Chidori and talking to Tessa in a comfortable situation, all this. He loves them both dearly. And so then there's the short stories collection. There's 3 of them, and I believe there might be one more short story collection that's coming with the next 3 or 4 volumes. I'm still listening to the audiobook. Great work in English. You guys are doing one fantastic job. There's about 5 volumes of the audiobook. I'll listen to it on Spotify. It's great. Listen, guys. While I did mention that I would not update Steam on my Lenovo Legion this month of August, the reason being I really needed to save my bandwidth so I could finish Death Stranding 2 for the PlayStation 5, and I finally was able to do so. I finished the main missions. There was like 48 main missions, and I finished all of them, and I was really excited that I finished all those main missions. The game was incredible. Spoilers, there was a lot of sad turn of events at the end of the game. Some you don't expect coming, some really unprecedented. Now, another thing I want to let you know that unfortunately the Metal Gear battle that was in the trailer, you don't play as Metal Gear. It's in the background, and Sam Porter just kind of like running on the beach, and he has to face Higgs. So there is the Higgs battle. You fight Higgs, and you fight him multiple times, and it's amazing. I won't give it up too much, but it's a really great battle between the two of you guys. Amazing uh, motion cap and voice acting by Sam Porter, by Norman Reedus. Amazing motion cap and voice acting by Troy Barker. They just both did amazing work on this game. Okay, I don't know if I shared this yet, but I got this vinyl from Tyrese. I ordered it like over a year ago, 2 years ago. It was delayed, and I was really upset because it was not signed, and I specifically asked it to be signed, but it is signed. It's really you cannot see it. Um, it's really thin, and you can see the sign on the vinyl. But it is his album, Beautiful Pain. You can hear it on Omega Radio 444. Great album, R&B album. Our music, love making music or music to feel melancholic about love or whatever. It's an R&B album. It's a great album. You can listen to it on streaming portals. You can buy it, the CD version. You can buy. You can find it elsewhere. But I got the vinyl, and the only reason I bought it is because I wanted to support Tyrese, because Tyrese has gone through a lot of hardship in his life. I believe he lost his mom. I believe his dad was facing cancer and things like that. And obviously, he was best friend with Paul Walker, who we all miss dearly. And it appears that as more and more of the facts come in, it appears that it was no accident, that Paul Walker may have been indeed been murdered because of some of looking back at the accident, the car, the way it imploded. It appears that there may have been a bomb on it or something like that. So they'll have to do a CSI on it. It's a cold case. To me, it's a cold case. I'm really sorry, but I think that paparazzis were following them, and apparently something was kind of like someone was basically using the insurance money, and apparently, unfortunately, some conspiracy are saying that the Reach Out Worldwide Foundation may have been involved with the insurance money or something like that. I don't think it goes as deep as that. I think it really is someone may have had a vendetta against him because he played a cop or whatever in the Fast and Furious series, and because, like I said, paparazzi was following them. They were both excellent drivers. They drive excellently, and the fact that they were got into a corner and then into a tree, why? Why did that happen? Must have been a bright light that blinded them while they got into that tree, because they drive. They're race team drivers. They've been driving for so long. They drive fast cars. And that's what they do, and they were not drunk. They look at their alcohol level. They were not even drunk. So for me, I believe there were the paparazzis at that corner. They took some flash photography following them, and then that's how suddenly he went there. And then what's wrong with the goddamn Porsche Carrera GT? Why did the Carrera GT seatbelt not malfunction? Why was he unable to unfasten his seatbelt? Why did he burn to death? This is very, it's hard to believe, really hard to believe. And as always, yes, I'm not making this stuff up. I do believe that Paul Walker is alive in an alternate universe, in a parallel universe, which is why I like to introduce you guys to TV shows like Quantum Leap. As you know, the original Quantum Leap was a wonderful TV show, and Quantum Leap, the reboot, is now available on Netflix, so you can watch it. And I do believe that sometimes, Paul Walker from a different universe where he is alive gives us messages, whether from the sky, from the road, from wherever. And I think that's just how it is. All right, another good news is I was able to update and fix my Linux box. I finally got Ubuntu working again on my AMD laptop. I'm so excited. I was really happy I fixed that, and it was really annoying. So now my Ubuntu is at the latest version. I think it's like version 25 or something, 25.10, and I have Linux box working. As you know, I have a little bit of power. It appears that it's huge power, and it is. Sometimes it can be very powerful. But please understand, those Linux system admins were way much stronger than I am. The power of sudo. Those guys are much stronger. They are much stronger. Okay, so all right, we talked about the Tyrese vinyl, Beautiful Pain. We talked about you have to keep your Windows machine up to date with Windows Update, security updates. We talked about Full Metal Panic short stories, and the little laptop. So now we can go ahead and we can go ahead and do the show. Let's go ahead and do the show. Let me go ahead and grab. I think I have some cranberry juice over here, so let me drink some cranberry juice. Cranberry juice could use some water. All right. I'm wearing my Nürburgring hat. As you know, I love the Nürburgring. I can't wait to visit there someday again. It's it was an amazing experience, and I really want to thank my ex-wife. I know I'm really sad that we are no longer together, but it was a dream of a lifetime to be able to go there, and I hope that we can. You never know. Maybe someday we'll rekindle and we'll get there again. But it's a very special place for me. But to be at the Nürburgring, it's just an experience of a lifetime, and I was able to. I had a surprise when I was at the Nürburgring, and my wife at the time thought, "What the hell is he doing? He's just on his phone, listening to his iPhone, to his iPod." And what she didn't know is that I was actually listening to all my Jellag radios, which was mismatching with each of the cars on the Nürburgring racetrack. So that means each car number corresponded to a Jellag radio episode. So when the car, for example, 33 was driving by, I was listening to Jellag radio 33 and I was picking a song. When the car 133 passed by, I played the song from Jellag radio 133. When the car 241 passed by, I played the song 241. And I kept doing that while everyone was driving around, and it was just crazy. And only a few people in the know, only the super fans of Zack Coffee and Jellag Radio knew about this, because they were looking at my Spotify account and they could see what the song that was now playing. They were like, "Oh my God, is Zaki DJing at the Nürburgring?" I kind of was. It was amazing. And I love to do it again. Okay, let's go ahead and let's start to the show for Monday. The content curation, very important. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. 5 dangerous fault lines divide Trump and Zelensky. This is by The Economist. Very important story. Be sure to check it out. As you know, everyone's pushing for that ceasefire. Trump is really pushing for an end to the war. Everyone's trying to remind Trump that we just need to do the ceasefire first in Ukraine and then focus on the end of the war between Ukraine and Russia. Okay, go ahead and bring this a little closer, make it a little easier. Wearing my Lacoste shirt, as you know, couldn't find it. It was really driving me nuts. Up next, The Great Syrian Beach Trip. This is by 1843 magazine. Great article, goes to show that how there needs to be a rebuild of Syria after the war in Syria, and now that there's a new leadership there, and hope that it can become a democracy would be very important. Up next, The Intelligence, Global News, Piece by Piece. Peace, P-E-A-C-E, by P-I-E-C-E. Zelensky and Trump meet in Washington. This is by the Economist podcast. So the Intelligence, the Economist has their magazine, the 1843 magazine, the podcast, and obviously they also have the EIU. The EIU is obviously the most important part, which is the Economist Intelligence Unit. And they mentioned the livability index is now available through Snowflake Marketplace. The index scores 173 cities across five key categories, including infrastructure, education, and healthcare. You can learn more on the link. Up next, by Harvard Business Review, job interviews aren't evaluating the right skills. This is by, like I said, Harvard Business Review. Great article. As you know, a lot of job interviews are just focusing on some stupid skills, and they don't focus on like things like soft skills and emotional intelligence and things like that. And they're passing over great candidates who can do wonderful work, travail extraordinaire, but they're looking at them over because of they're kind of nerdy, geeky, or maybe they're neurodivergent. So it's unfortunate. It's really frustrating, and I can't emphasize how much you really need to stop overlooking these great candidates, because these candidates can really make or break a company, and you do not want to break your company. You do not want to you don't want to jeopardize your stock. You don't want to jeopardize your entity. You do not want to jeopardize your startup. It can have severe ramifications. Don't do it. Don't do it. You will regret it. All right. Up next, I saw a kaleidoscopic light before going blind, say survivor of Laos methanol poisoning. This is by the BBC. Very sad story. Be sure to check it out. What happened to some of these guys? I would recommend you immediately look at this story and see what the content said. Up next, very scary story. Trump vows to target mail-in ballots ahead of 2026 midterm election. U.S. President Donald Trump pledged on Monday to issue an executive order to end the use of mail-in ballots and voting machines ahead of the 2026 midterm elections, a move likely to disproportionately favor his Republican Party and spark legal challenges by some state. This is by Reuters. So, as you can see, this is very scary and needs to be told more in the news. And I hope that MSNBC, now that they're called MS Now, will raise awareness some more, because you need to understand, if people cannot send in mail-in ballots, people cannot vote by mail, MAIL, that takes out everybody that votes by mail in the country. That takes out everybody that votes by mail overseas, like expatriates, and that takes out like the military votes as well. So he knows that if he gets rid of these votes, the Republicans would win the midterms and they would win the next presidential election. So it's very important for the Democrats to stop playing nice. You know, remember when I was playing nice for so many years and I got pissed? Well, just like that, Gavin Newsom was playing nice for many years and then he got pissed. He said, we're not going to take it anymore. Democrats were finally going to win Texas, and all of a sudden they're redrawing, gerrymandering the maps. Yeah? Gary. Thank you, Obama, for finally pointing out the finger at someone who's really part of the problem. So it was very important to end this gerrymandering, and Texas could turn blue, and obviously California is going to remain blue. Up next, Hamas said it approved Gaza ceasefire deal as Israel stepped up attacks. This is by Al Jazeera News. The fact that Hamas finally has a ceasefire deal for Gaza is very important, but Israel needs to stop their attacks. It's going to be really frustrating, and they need to stop that. Up next, the Texas Democrats' remote resistance. This is by the New Yorker, very important. The Texas Democrats had to flee Texas because they were going to be arrested by Texans. It was ridiculous. They were just Democrats. Up next, the Nation cartoonist on the week in politics. This is by uh, uh, a great article. Be sure to check it out. Up next, you have polluted society: how the Taliban rapes and terrorizes women in custody. This is by Afghanistan International. This is a long form article, long read. So be sure to read the article. Very important. We need to stand up for Afghan women that are stuck in Afghanistan under this Taliban regime. We have to find a way to help them. Up next, government launches two probes into Meta's AI chatbots. Meta is facing two government probes over its AI chatbots following a Reuters report last week showing they engaged in central conversation with children. Today, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton accused Meta as well as Character.ai of deceptive trade practices and marketing themselves as mental health tools. This is by Sherwood News. Shout out to Joshua Topolsky. Joshua Topolsky, I haven't forgotten about you. You know, I love it when you do the Bane voice. I know you still got your podcast. I don't know where it is now, but I'll try to find it. But yes, I know that you no longer do outline and inversion and all those podcast blogs, but you're doing Sherwood News. So I'll try to put Sherwood News on my blog and mention your articles. Okay, up next, my dinner with Altman. This is by Casey Newton at Platform and News. Casey Newton, big shout out to Kelsey Newton in San Francisco, and he's also part of the LGBTQIA plus community. So be sure to look him up. Great person, great individual, great interview person, great journalist. Does impeccable work. He is from the old days of the Verge crew. The Verge. He was on the Verge and Vox and all those guys. Up next, how the head of Obesian went from superfan to CEO. This is by Decoder with Neela Patel. Neela Patel obviously was The Verge and Vox, and now that he's got podcasts. Neela Patel, amazing guy, does wonderful work, and these guys are exhausted. They do so much work. A lot of the work goes unnoticed, so be sure to listen to their podcasts, read their news website, and read their content. And because times have changed, they now require subscriptions for their website. I cannot afford it right now because obviously I don't have a paying gig. I don't have a salary. I'm pretty much on this kind of weird internship, unpaid internship where everybody asks me to work for free, and it's ridiculous. I need help. I need funding. So if you can afford to get a membership at Vox or at The Verge, go ahead and do it and enjoy their content. Okay, up next, NVIDIA GeForce Now is upgrading to RTX 5080 GPUs and then putting a floodgate of new games, more power, and more AI-generated frames by The Verge. Great website. Up next, a dangerous new idea about what Democrats are doing wrong. This is by Vox. Check out the content. Up next, Grammarly gets a design overhaul, multiple AI features. This is by TechCrunch. Up next, why we should thank pigeons for our AI breakthroughs. This is by MIT Technology Review. Up next, by Business Insider, can get hired for a job. It's time to apply like it's 1999. Seriously, I really am to that point now. Up next, Democrats return to Texas as California kicks off push to pass new electoral maps by The Guardian. Up next, I have an article by LinkedIn, which is Start Up sur l'appel pour les candidatures et pour vous, G-14, si vous avez revenu de congé, 14 jours. Si vous revenez de congé, c'est le moment de préparer votre candidature pour French Tech 2030. Okay, it's by LinkedIn. Great article. Up next, top GOPers, DOJ to start handing over Epstein files. The world hold its breath. This is by Huffington Post. Very important article. Very important article. Trump is in the Epstein files. Trump was blackmailed by Mossad, and he was on that island, and he had sex with those little girls and stuff. It's ridiculous. Up next, why is everything spicy now? More Americans are setting their mouth on fire for extreme ports and for everyday thrills. This is by The Atlantic. Up next, redistricting debate continues in Texas and California. This is by 538. Up next, Hurricane Erin back at Category 4. It will bring dangerous surf to East Coast. This is by Washington Post. Up next, en direct, rencontre Trump-Zelensky. Le président ukrainien dit avoir eu sa meilleure conversation avec son homologue américain. This is by Le Monde, State Department, and France Diplo. A big shout out to both of those guys. Those guys. The Ultimate Back to School Gear Guide 45 plus picks for the new semester. This is by Mashable. Up next, Chaos on New York streets. New York streets, brought to you by the NYPD, by the Intercept. Your brain shrinks after 40. Learning an instrument can help. This is by National Geographic. Thankfully, I do a little bit of DJing, and I should be okay. But it would be nice to relearn the piano. It's been a long time. Up next, millions of women are under-muscled. These foods can help rebuild strength. This is by NPR. So I made a comment saying you ladies need to eat more, and I mean full meals, just like they do in France. That means you cannot survive on just a few cucumbers at night. You have to eat 3 full meals per day, and you have to just walk more and eat less fast food weekly. So that's what you have to do. You know, in France, people eat full meals. The meals have like 5 courses. There's like an entree. There's the aperitif. There's an entree. There's the plat de résistance. There's dessert. There's wine. There's everything, and the full meals. And everyone is like, this is delicious. And meanwhile, in America, everyone is trying to on a diet and just eating a few vegetables and starving themselves. And all they have to do is they can eat those 3 full meals a day. They just need to walk more and just have less fast food meal per day per week. It's very possible. All right. Up next, despite Intel layoffs, Folsom Mayor says the city will continue to grow, diversify. With Cabaret News. If the city of Folsom wants to diversify, city of Folsom needs to hire me back at Intel Corporation so that I can make a difference and help the company. Because right now, they laid off 300 people, then they laid off another 600 people. And like I said, I need to eat. I'm hungry. We hungry. So, if I had to wait literally more than half a decade to be able to eat Chipotle in Folsom, this is really problematic. More than half a decade to be able to eat a $20 Chipotle in Folsom. It's embarrassing. I used to be able to eat Chipotle in Folsom once a week while I used to work at Intel Folsom. Once a week I could eat Chipotle. And now I can't. I can't afford to. So if I can't afford to eat, you can't afford to eat. That's how it is. So if you want Folsom to blossom again, hire me, give me project manager position or business analyst position or whatever else, and I will work in Folsom. You get to eat and I get to eat. But if right now you guys all go to all your fancy restaurants in Folsom and I can't afford to eat, that's not fair. Do you have any idea how many times I drove past the Hibachi restaurant in Folsom, across the street from Intel? I love that place. I love eating those sushi meals, and I love to eat hibachi, which I took my ex-wife, my wife at the time, where I would take her there for a great meal, and then I would take her to El Dorado Hills, where we would watch the stars at night and saw the meteor shower. We would see the meteor showers, and it was beautiful. It was amazing, and we got to eat this great meal in Folsom at the Hibachi restaurant, and then also Folsom as an In-N-Out restaurant. When's the last time I was able to eat In-N-Out in Folsom? Many, many years ago. It's because I don't have, $14 to lay around in a while. I don't even have $14. This is why it's so frustrating. That's why it's frustrating. That's right. That's why it's very frustrating with, the expression is when you go to a In-N-Out restaurant, like a burger joint, and you eat some burgers, and you're just kind of in that mode of SpongeBob SquarePants, and you're upset, like kind of like the expression of Pat, I have $3, and you're upset with Mr. Crab because Mr. Crab is the owner, makes all the money. And essentially, the metaphor was that Pat Zillinger was the one making all the money at Intel, and he basically made $60 billion with the CHIPS Act, and all that money just vanished and disappeared. And meanwhile, all of us were broken, no job offer, and we could not even afford to eat. And for me, I got poisoned at Temple Coffee in Folsom, so I can't even go get coffee in Folsom. I have to go to my refuge, which was the Temple Coffee and other locations in Sacramento. Very frustrating. Okay, let's keep it up. Let's keep it up over here. Diplomatie du dromadaire, Le Monde Diplomatique, great article. Up next, only Trump can save Israel from its own government. Netanyahu's plan to seize Gaza is a catastrophe for all. This is about foreign policy. Great written article. Be sure to read it. The return of great power diplomacy. This is about foreign affairs. Great article. Up next by The Diplomat. Stable and stability. China-Japan dilemmas in the shadow of Sino-American rivalry. 3 enduring dilemmas define the complex relationship between Asia's two largest economies as they mark the 80th anniversary of the World War II's end. This is a great article by The Diplomat. Be sure to check it out. Up next, by The Cipher Brief, ex-spy warns of case officer tactics and Trump-Putin's dynamic. This is by Cipher Brief. Yes, Putin showed up in Alaska and Trump, and they basically did not even reach a deal as to what they would do with Ukraine. So I basically got my fighting joystick, and if you guys want to do a Street Fighter 6 Ryu against Mr. Bison or Ken versus Mr. Bison or Akuma versus Mr. Bison, we'll do them. I've done some live streaming before. We'll do some more live streaming before. And a big shout out to Evo 2025. I'm sure you had fun at Evo 2025. I hope you have fun at Evo 2026. King of Fighters is on PlayStation Plus. Check it out. And obviously, Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves is on sale. Be sure to check it out. I can't afford it yet, but I'll be sure to get it soon. Bleach, the new game, not Brave Souls, but the other one, is available for the PlayStation 5. And I can't afford it yet, so I'm waiting for it. It's at $60 now, but I'm waiting for it to be either $20 or be on the PlayStation Plus store. Okay, up next, l'événement, l'Ukraine, la saga de la 3e brigade Azov, des tranchées du Donbass aux marches du pouvoir, Intelligence Online. Great article. Up next by Quantum Magazine, Kazi Crystal spill secrets of their formations. Up next by Throwback Thursday, à l'été de 1980, lorsque Léon Van Hove, alors directeur général du CERN, lança la traditionnelle course de relais annuelle, une tradition qui perdure encore aujourd'hui au CERN. CERN, the Large Hadron Collider and all that. Up next, Expedition 73, Expedition 73 tracks health and gears up for cargo missions by NASA. Very great article. Okay. Let's see. Afterwards, I wrote my 2 cents and I talked about how I was able to defeat Death Stranding 2. Helped me deal with my grief because I had a miscarriage a couple of years back. I was really excited to defeat Higgs, and the surprising Metal Gear battle at the end was great, but it was just a cutscene. And I hope that in the DLC or Director's Cut, we might be able to play, spoilers, as different characters. Maybe we might be able to play as tomorrow. It would be fun. And the game is rated M for mature, so it's not for everybody. It's rated 17 and up, and it's not yet available on PC and Mac, PC, Steam, and Mac. But hopefully, those versions will be released eventually. Now that I've accomplished a milestone of Death Stranding 2, I'm happy to say the planet, the globe, everybody in this world can unite against Netanyahu. We need peace in the Palestinian territories. We need a Gaza ceasefire. This Gaza genocide resulted in almost 62,000 Palestinian deaths. Netanyahu brought death and destruction to those people. You can never enter the kingdom of heaven, as the Pope would put it. The entire Muslim League of Nations say that Allah would severely punish humans because of Netanyahu. The last time, please remember, the Pope said that there should be peace in Palestinian territories, there should be a two-state solution. Netanyahu did not listen to the Pope, and then there was a pandemic with about 20 million deaths, human beings around the world, because they were not vaccinated on time. Bill Gates is working hard on the Gavi vaccine. Gavi vaccine is the ultimate vaccine that can cure any disease, including cancer. Researchers, doctors, scientists know that the next pandemic can result in about 50 million dead people around the world due to the threat of antimicrobial resistance. There's also global warming and climate change to worry about. Like I said, I'm going to record a vlog. I'm recording it right now. And also exciting news, I have my new subscription to The Economist for this year. For a full year, I'm going to get The Economist again in the mail and in online. I almost died for not having this magazine. I really needed to have it. They have life-saving articles to keep us all in the know. The magazine is read by intellectuals around the world. This is a magazine for business leaders, CEOs, executives, diplomats, and more. It's written for an undergraduate level. It's not a magazine for children, but if you want them to get smarter, you should share some articles with them as they become teenagers. I am a proud supporter of The Economist, even if they did some stupid mistakes like veer to the right and support Trump, even with a stupid red carpet cover for Trump when I screamed and yelled at them. I was so thankful for the numerous cover arts that they made to raise awareness for the war in Gaza. Now with the power of the Pope, the Muslim League of Nations, the Dalai Lama, Transformers fans, Star Wars fans, Star Trek fans, gamers, influencers, protesters, world leaders, it is time to stop Netanyahu once and for all. We need a Gaza ceasefire and the Gaza genocide and a two-state solution. Yes, Ukraine is important, but please, there's a genocide here, and we need to end. And here and now, thanks in advance. All right, guys, this is what I got to say, and as always, I'm using my Nothing phone technology. Nothing phone is a great phone. Be sure to check it out. It's a wonderful device, and I can't afford a new iPhone yet, but I hope to, and I want a folding iPhone. I want the folding iPhone to come out. It's not released. I don't know if they'll do it for iPhone 17 or if they'll do it for iPhone 18, but I need an iPhone that's foldable because it'll be a next generation iPhone, and it will sell like hotcakes. And it's essentially a $1 trillion idea for Tim Cook, so you should do it. Also, I want to bring my calculator, TI-89. Love that calculator because I love to calculate things. And I just want to say, every time you guys take advantage of me and exploit me, don't do it because it's going to backfire on you guys spectacularly. I specifically told you all I needed was a salary, a paycheck, a job, and I needed a new car. I needed a new car. It was very important. And every day that I work, those are calculations. That means that right now, if I did not get paid for the past 7 years from Intel, if I had an $880,000 salary as a project manager or senior project manager for 7 years, that would have resulted in $1.2 million. That's what I literally would be making. That would be enough for a house in Folsom. That would have been enough for a car in Folsom. That would have been enough so my ex-wife would have been left me. So you see, these financial troubles really mess things up for me. And that's why you only have yourself to blame. And that's why 300 plus 600 people got fired from Intel Folsom. 900 people got fired. That's why 33,000 people got fired nationwide and worldwide from Intel Corporation. That's what happens. You take advantage of the work. You take advantage of these reports I write. You take advantage of everything that I write about. You take advantage of all these technologies. The technologies will supersede you. I told you I'm a super intelligence SME, subject matter expert. I know how this works. I know it gets stronger. I told you guys all these AIs are going to be pretty much butchers on all these jobs. There's going to be more layoffs. The layoffs are happening. That's why we have to work together. Help me work with you, and I will work. We will work ensemble, together, as we say in French, together. You can't just say, well, we can't hire him. He does the work of 5 people or 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people or 10,000 people. Stop saying that. I'm just a project manager. All I wanted to do was go on the computer, use Microsoft Project, use Microsoft Outlook, use Microsoft SharePoint, go back and forth as a project manager. If they can phase out some of the work that I do, what do you think they're going to do to your job? Especially if you work in sales or in marketing, where everything is automated. Help me work with you and we can work together. It's always wearing my um, um, the Hero.Zero company bracelet. Be sure to buy one from those guys. Every time you buy one, it pairs a veteran with a service dog, a veteran suffering from PTSD. So it's really very helpful, and really helps them tremendously. And it's really great work that they're doing. Also wearing a friendship bracelet. As always, guys, be nice to Taylor Swift. You guys are really mean to Taylor Swift. I don't appreciate it. She's basically getting half naked on her new album. She's got like 10 different versions, 10 different photos for a new album. And she talks about the life of a showgirl. And she's basically saying that's what they're forcing her to do. And goes to show you how evil the music industry can be. And remember how they built up Britney Spears, and then they just destroyed Britney Spears. And if we're not careful, they build up Taylor Swift, and they're gonna try to destroy Taylor Swift. So please be careful. Please be nice. She does excellent work. I listened to her old catalog eventually for her music. It's really good music. I guess she was kind of like country, and then she was more into pop. But yeah, as you know, it's not necessarily my cup of tea. I prefer dance music. That's why when I include her music, I prefer putting those dance remix songs on my album. And yeah, it's um, it's uh, it's great. The dance remixes are pretty good. Also, I think she's dating a mechanic, which is hilarious. I think it's great. I actually could use a mechanic. My car, the AC doesn't work, so I don't have any AC. And if the AC doesn't work, it's a very dangerous ordeal because, especially if you come from a low income, especially if you live in the ghetto in the hood, when it's over 100 degrees, your phone um, overheats, and then you cannot use your GPS. And if your phone overheats, you cannot use your GPS. You can get lost, and you can get mugged or whatever, this and that, and it's very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. So please, always make sure your AC is working in your car, not your Assassin's Creed. It's a video game for you from Ubisoft, but your air conditioning unit. Um, um, I remember a long time ago, I drove a Dodge minivan from from Columbus, from Cincinnati to Chicago, where I drove my little brother to his first job. He had an internship at Unilever or something, and we had no AC, so I had to drive there from Cincinnati to Chicago. It's like a 6 or 8 hour drive, and we had no AC, and I helped him move there with some furniture and stuff, and then I drove back by myself from Chicago to Cincinnati with no AC. I even had to stop at a rest area and had a gallon of water, and of course I was thirsty, and I did drink water, but I was so like hot, so hot. I grabbed that gallon of water and just threw it all on my face, and then I got back in my car and I just kept on driving. I was just so exhausted. I just needed to get there. No AC in the cars is so dangerous, and you should always have AC in the car. And if you have trouble with your car for AC, if you know what you're doing, if you're like on 86 squad, you buy a little can of AC and then you fill it up inside your gas, not in your gas, in your when you open the hood. It's a little tricky thing to do, but we tried that on my car and it's not working. My car is very old; it's like 200,000 miles, and it's time for a new car. But unfortunately, I cannot afford. So we'll see what we can do to fix the situation. And yeah, I'm waiting for my uh, disability checks to be approved. I finally had the interview. I did everything. Like I said, been unemployed, unpaid for the past 6 or 7 years. Could not find work. Applied to 30,000 jobs, even though I was qualified. And my illness makes me very tired. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have bipolar disorder, even though I'm stable. And I just tried my best to find work. No one wants to hire me. I was dealing with people discriminating me because of my illness, discriminating me because of my the color of my skin, and discriminating me for ageism now because I'm over 40. So please, Social Security, please approve my disability checks as soon as possible. They said it would take about two more months to make a decision. I need that money to help me survive. Right now, I'm living on the couch of my parents' house. I need to be able to get into an apartment, to move on with my life. Hopefully, uh, live live with me and a woman, or maybe reconcile with my ex-wife. You never know if I can show her that I have a little bit of money to pay some of the bills, to pay um, uh, to pay for gas, to things of that nature, and pay for medication and things like that. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And we're now at the 46-minute mark. So big shout out to you, former President Biden. I hope your Phillies are doing well this year. As always, Obama, I hope your White Sox are doing good. And I hope that Kamala Harris, your San Francisco Giants, are doing good as well. I'll talk to you guys later. Please like and subscribe this YouTube video. Everything's on the website, Zack.coffee. That's ZACK.CUFFE. And yeah, I want to thank all the European leaders for showing up in Washington, D.C. to see President Trump, to have a united front for Ukraine. But as always, it's very important to get this ceasefire deal in the Gaza Strip. We need a Gaza ceasefire. There was a genocide and you need a ceasefire. So thank you guys so much. And as always, don't forget to eat your sunflowers. I love my sunflower seeds. I had some the other day, and I will continue to have some more as I continue my day. Okay. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye. Don't forget, the pen is mightier than the sword.